Hi friends, and welcome back to Peculiar Potions. Today we're returning to the task of establishing a source of infinite furnace fuel. So today, let's actually make the machine that's gonna generate kelp for us. Let's go. Alright, so a kelp farm. I have never made an auto farm before, which is why I tested out making one just to try it out here in creative mode in like this generic super flat world here, essentially. And I would highly recommend anybody like trying out building something crazy and redstone based that they haven't done before to try it first in creative mode in some random throwaway save like this just to test it and get a proper understanding of things. So the observers here are connected to the pistons in a way such that when they detect a change in the block in front of them, all the pistons will activate. So a bunch of these kelp could grow to like 2 blocks high, but the moment one of them grows to 3 blocks high, the observer will detect a change, it'll send a redstone signal, and all the pistons will go. Because these count as water source blocks, the kelp will usually float up to the top. Sometimes it'll usually float up with enough time, especially if the kelp grows, and it'll flow into a hopper setup. Now, something tiny like this, which is basically just like a design that I found online, which I'll credit in the description below. I didn't want something just like this. This is not quite efficient enough. I don't want just like these 6 things of kelp, I want more. So, I experimented with this design here first and foremost. And, hold on, let me take away this dirt at the top here, and I can kind of show how it works here, in a sense. Oh, you kind of see it there. The problem with this design is, while I tried to get water flowing like this right into the center for the hoppers, as you just witnessed there, the problem lies in the fact that the kelp often just gets freaking launched to the complete other side in this setup. So the moment one reaches 3 blocks high, boop, and it gets launched to the other complete side. That's probably why there's that there. So this setup is a dud, and that is why it's important to test these things in creative mode. So I made version 2 over here, like this. And this model, rather than doing that, had this like 2 block section in the middle. And you can't actually open this chest if these are solid blocks here, but if there's slabs, you can open them. And this setup did work most of the time, but some of the time, some of the kelp would get like lodged here. It would like go over the hopper, and it would get lodged there. So while version 2 was definitely a lot better than version 1 in testing here, it wasn't quite perfect. Like most of the time it will go in there, but sometimes here and there will be some kelp getting stuck in there, and I don't want that. Which brings us to version 3, which is the final version here. And it's a version that I figured out, like, yeah, you can, since I had this going, it's like, okay, you can just stack this, like, however high you want to go. Which I would have. I started wanting to stack these over here. You can see, like, the dirt over here trying to start that. But since these weren't good setups, I didn't exactly build it up there. So, as you can see, this is the setup. This is the way to go. I have a 1 block gap in the middle, and rather than trying to feed these into the same chest, I have them feeding into separate chests like this. So this can be like the storage there, and then they lead into a smoker. It turns out you can use a smoker for cooking kelp and whatnot. The smokers are meant to like cook food items faster, and it seems like kelp counts as that. Oh, that's reached 64. So this is starting to like build up into the reserves there already. Nice. So my thought process is that the kelp could like build up into here, and then like excess spare kelp could be like harvestable from here. And then if we got like an automatic bamboo farm going back here, then that would be able to lead into here, and that would be the fuel. So if I go ahead and grab like a stack of, why do I have caps lock on? If I grab like a stack of bamboo, throw this lever out for a hot second, and I just shove this in here, if there's bamboo being fed into there, then this is going to automatically smelt that into dried kelp, which is going to make the dried kelp at the end of the day here. Now, the reason why I wanted to cut this this infinite furnace fuel thingamabob with the power of dried kelp up into 2 parts is because I want to establish making this in this episode, and then we'll worry about the bamboo farm the next time. Because it seems like kelp, in my opinion, is a little bit easier to do this with than bamboo. Because kelp, you do in the water like this. You can get this water flowing like this that just automatically like pushes it over and down to where it needs to go. You can't do that with bamboo unless you want, you know, it to wash away the original source thingamabob at the bottom and kind of destroy your farm, which I think you can use dispensers to replant it, but I don't want that kind of level of complexity. Which means that you apparently need like a hopper minecart setup on tracks going along the bottom, and then that hopper minecart would have to like go over these hoppers here in some way to feed the bamboo into this to make the dried kelp that we'd have at the end of the day here. So yeah, that'll be a process that I figure out another day. For now, I just kind of want to get this setup going. This is made easier by the fact that you can use signs to stop water flowing. So I use like several signs here to stop the water from flowing down. There's the flow that leads it here, and then it just drops down right into the hopper like that. So it's very quite nice. I could put some signs here as well, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference if it's at the very bottom anyway. Like, doesn't really matter all that much there. But yeah, you can stack this as high as you want. I don't know if I'm definitely not making this big of a machine in the world. But maybe I should go up to at least 2. I'm tempted. And then the bamboo farm, which would have to be like right behind it, is gonna have to be like something else big. So a big question arises. Where the hell do I put this thing in the hideaway? You know, where do I put it? But yeah, it just goes. It just goes. So for now, let's go ahead and get our materials at the ready first and foremost. How about? Now, for a nicer building block, we could always use like stone bricks or something like that. So I could always dump those into... Oh man, so much copper. Let's just sort this out a little bit here like this. I wouldn't mind getting some stone bricks, so let's just go ahead and throw a bunch of cobblestone into here, because that'll be a bit nicer than just, like, regular cobblestone. That's probably a pretty nice building block there. So, we're gonna need a bunch of pistons. I can take this off. I can probably take the armor off, too. Just because it's a lot nicer being like this, you know. Let's go ahead and throw these in here for now. Okay, so we are going to need a lot of redstone, which is precisely why I got a whole bunch of this. We're gonna need a bunch of wood. We're gonna need a bunch of cobblestone. Is what we're gonna need, because we're gonna need a lot of pistons. We're gonna need some observers. I need to Google how to even make observers. I know that it's with nether quartz. I don't know what other things. So because each of those sections had 7 pistons, and I'm going to want to have at least 4 of those. Do I have space? I mean, I could just start like shoving it underground somewhere. I'm gonna go for 4 of those sections, which means I'm gonna need 28 pistons, 28 observers. So how do we go about that? I'm gonna need iron as well. Let me see if I remember by heart the recipe for pistons. Let me see here. I believe that it was something like... I need more wood. I need more wood. I'm dumb. Let me just... that. So, if I remember off the top of my head, the recipe for pistons was something like... other way? Other way. Okay, so we'll get a bunch of those, and I'll do this. So how many did I say we needed? We needed 28, right? So let's go ahead and get 28 of these. There we go. That's enough for the 4 sections. Go ahead and take all this. I need more cobblestone again already. Now then, observers. How do we make those? Also, with all that sand that I harvested the last time, I should go ahead and throw more of that, and more than just the 2 stacks. I should throw those into here as well, because this setup is going to use a lot of glass. Will be the thing. So let's just get all that cooking. How about? So, observers. How do we make those? Is that a thing in my thingamabob here? Nope, I'm Googling it. It seems like observers take a lot of cobblestone. I'm just gonna take out all my cobblestone for now. How about? So, it seems like... we'll put that away. It seems like the recipe for an observer is redstone like that, nether quartz, and then you put cobblestone around like this. I'll just make a full half a stack like that, because I'm sure I'm going to need some more later, most likely. So there we go. We have our pistons, we have our observers. I'm going to need redstone to make the lines here. That's what I'm going to need. Nice. I believe around that skeleton farm, there's probably still a bunch of kelp, like, ow, in the chest from when I made that water elevator, because that's another one of the things that kelp is really useful for, is making water elevators. My goodness, all this falling has got me really hungry. It's got me the munchies for some carrots, is what's got me for. All right, so yeah, that's one of the chambers of the skeleton farm right there. Munch, 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 munch. So I believe, yeah, there we go, kelp. I'm just gonna confiscate this, because yeah, I think that this whole shebang is gonna be going untouched there. Oh, I could have grabbed gold stuff from here is what I could have done to take along to the net. Holy crap. Okay, it's not all the way up to the brim quite yet, but yeah. I wouldn't mind making some of these water elevators in the future, because they're actually really cool. I don't think they were a thing back in the day when I played Minecraft, but they're really cool. They take so many signs, but they're so cool. Wait, which direction is home now? Okay, that way. If by chance somebody ever does follow this like it's a tutorial one day and doesn't have kelp already, you should be able to just find it like out in water sources, namely like oceans and whatnot. Most notably, just swim around and bash some kelp and take it home, and how'd it do? It'll be grand! Alright, the kelp farm, the first fully automatic farm that we'll have made. All the other farms around here, we need to go around manually harvesting things from time to time, and, you know, while it's not too difficult to do that, it'd be so much nicer if you could just set up a facility and be done with it. It's made, you don't have to interfere ever again, you just need to come and pick up the items. I know that that's a kind of format that I really liked playing a lot of modded Minecraft back in the day, especially with a lot of machines and automation-related mods. So it was really nice to have that feel of like, once something's set up, it's just done. Now, it's not quite as easy to automate in vanilla Minecraft as it is within heavily mod Minecraft, but there are still means to do it like this, so it was like, okay, it's about time that we set up our first fully automated thing here. Now, I was figuring out where exactly I wanted to put this for a little while, and eventually decided like right along the path here that led up to the tunnel that led to the animal area. And I only realized a little bit later in the build that I actually messed up the spacing a little bit here when I put those placeholder blocks down above and then started making this bottom layer. As a reference to that, it screwed me up. Speaking of things that screwed me up, Wandering Trader. Again, this always seems to happen whenever I'm building anything. A Wandering Trader always comes by. Don't know why that is, but that just seems to be the case. Anyway, when we were showing the demo earlier, we saw that it was supposed to be like a dirt block, an empty space, then piston, then observer. So I realized then that I messed that up. I needed to adjust that a little bit, but that also meant that I needed to move the dirt block up above one higher. In hindsight, I probably should have just moved the bottom one extra down, but I guess I didn't think of that in the moment, so whoops. I guess I just wound up moving things one up. So the kelp isn't going to be growing right at ground level outside, it'll be growing one above, but since the path isn't, you know, right alongside it, it's a couple blocks away. It's the kind of thing that you can look up and over and see the kelp there, so it won't be that big of a deal. My first plan here was to use a staircase to get down here and have that branch out of the path. I later changed my mind about this, but for the first bits here, I was trying to figure out how to get it to work and how I'd be able to get down to the chest that would have all the kelp from here. But yeah, that would be something that I'd be changing later. This Wandering Trader and his llamas were just insistent on being right in my face while I was working the whole time. So I finally had this set up to make the first one of these, the first one of 4. I had an infinite water source set up in the corner over here, so I started doing laps, just filling it up one by one as the Wandering Trader wanted to do a routine inspection to make sure I'm following proper safety procedures over here or something, I don't know. So I got that all filled up. I placed down my kelp. I made sure to place down enough kelp that it would grow all the way to the top. This ensures that all the water changes to water source blocks. I don't know why kelp existing in a block of water changes it to a water source block, but for whatever reason, it does. And that should ensure that most of the time, any kelp that breaks free should be floating to the top. Not always, as we saw a second ago there, because this game is weird and whatnot, but most of the time, the kelp should be floating to the surface. Whenever the pistons go off, I don't know if that means that the piston blocks aren't going to be water source blocks anymore, but at least the ones down below are, since that's where the kelp is planted, and at least the ones by the observers are. So hey, there was that. So went ahead and filled that all with water. Then I would have to plant the kelp, turn them all into source blocks there. Start placing glass for the next layer. I would place down slabs so I could get the water going, break the slabs, and that would be the little channel that would actually lead to the hoppers. And then I started having to adjust the dimensions here for the upper layer, considering my little mess up there. So whoops, it worked out. It worked out fine enough in the end. It just means that it's going to be a little bit more elevated than originally planned, but hey, that's perfectly fine. So once again, a lot of back and forth, just going back to that infinite water source there. Filling up the tank bit by bit here. If I went in, it would be a little bit tricky to get out, which is why I had to break that little opening there so I'd have easy access in and out. Then would come the slabs. Again, another bucket of water to make the channel, and that's 3 done. And now for the 4th one. Now, the Wandering Trader wandered in here, so I tried to like nudge him out, and I couldn't. I even broke my own glass, and he did not want to get out, no matter what I tried, and I couldn't get out. So I had to do the unthinkable. because I was literally stuck in there, and at a certain point, it just didn't even let me break blocks anymore because he was in the way. So I'm sorry that you had to see that, but that was straight up inescapable for me, I swear. So there was that. Once again, getting my dimensions a little bit wrong, so I had to go ahead and adjust that. But hey, it worked out fine in the end. So we'll make the 4th tank here. Nice even 2x2 kelp farm here. Yeah, the going back and forth, getting the water was a bit irksome. And then I ran into another kind of irksome issue. It was cold enough that the water was turning into ice. But there's a fun little way that you can prevent an ice/snow problem, and that's just by putting cover over your water. That's something that I should actually do for the snow problem I have over by the melons. I don't know why I still haven't done that yet, but it's something that I'll worry about when I get to doing melon stuff again. I haven't had to worry about harvesting anything from that farm for a while, since I've just been, living off of carrots for a good while, and we have melons up the yin-yang, So it was something I didn't really need to worry about. For over here, I originally thought that I would put down these stairs either way leading to the chests down below. This is something that would change later. It would even change during the time-lapse later. Like, this is something that would change either in a future episode or later in this episode. I'm pretty sure I recorded it in a future episode. Everything's blurring together. I'm losing my mind over here. I do genuinely apologize. Everything's a bit of a blur. But the main thing was now built and done. So now I just had to figure out how I was going to light this thing. So I excavated a little bit more area, and I elected for this lamppost design with the fences. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe this should actually be spruce fence, is maybe what I should do. Like, one, I should have just the lamppost right in the center there and not have the ones hanging off the kelp machine there. I went and got some spruce fence as the phantoms over here started harassing me yet again, as they like to do. I found that I was pretty safe on the ladder, so I'd be dipping back and forth to be safe from the super mean phantoms. And I got the lampposts all made. Got this area nice and lit. I decided to clean up this front area a little bit by replacing some more with stone bricks. And then to clean up underneath here a bit, I would replace the ground and the walls with stone bricks as well. I didn't want this to look like a just random hole. I wanted this to look like something that was actually properly developed. This is a proper facility. The place where all the kelp is being automatically made, and we don't have to worry about it. In the corner there, you can see a little bit of my infinite water source that I just now put the lamp over. The tunnel around back is what actually leads to the redstone at the back of the facility there. But now, with that all done, as we come around for a round view, the infinite kelp farm is done, and we now have our first source of infinite furnace fuel. Well, the machine has been running for a little while by now, so let's go ahead and go over and check on its progress here real quick. Might not be a half bad idea. So, with the 4 channels all working towards delivering us kelp, it should be making kelp at a not half bad pace, right? Maybe something I should have tested a little bit more in a creative mode. But yeah, we've got a bunch that are up to 2 height there. The moment one reaches 3 height, it'll break and it'll all go down here. So down this way we go. Let's have a look-see at what's in these chests. Okay. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. There we go. You'll love to see it. Sweet. All right, that is actually making kelp at a really nice pace then. I can't say exactly what pace it was, like how long I left this, because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't keeping track, but a decent little while. Oh, it's not perfect, but hey, it's producing a lot of kelp here. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, my original plan with this was to do like an infinite bamboo farm behind this as well, and have the bamboo smelt the kelp and yada yada. And I could do that, but like, considering the pace this is making kelp, and if I really did want to smelt all of this here, you gotta keep in mind that I need 4 pieces of bamboo for every 1 kelp. So if I did a setup like this, and, I had to scale it up to, compensate for how much more bamboo you need, for something like that, all on the backside here, and do like a crazier setup where I can't have water pushing it, I would need to have like a hopper minecart underneath picking it all up. Like, it's possible, but it sounds a little bit crazy, and like, I don't know if I should quite be putting that into this space. The snow sketches me the heck out. Also, I should probably grab some coal. I actually probably have some coal over here, because I'm starting to have second thoughts about the idea with bamboo. I might make an infinite bamboo farm anyway, but not to smelt the kelp, I'm not thinking. So let's just go ahead and grab some coal to get us started here from when we were doing this project here. Wait, is my I thought I kept my old shield somewhere around here. Whatever. Whatever, it's around somewhere. Oh, this is where a bunch of cobblestone is. I need some of that. I need some of that here at some point. Yeah. Look at all the wait, do I have wheat? Nah, we'll worry about that situation another time. So, rather than having bamboo feeding, I was thinking about just having kelp smelt the kelp. I used the kelp to destroy the kelp. Okay, Oh, I was like, what is this? I know what it is. Okay, yeah, whoops. Go ahead and patch that up real quick. So, if you smelt... Jeez, that actually startled me for a hot second. That must have been one of the ones down there. So, again, if you want to smelt kelp with kelp, you gotta get, like, the 9 pieces of dried kelp, make it into a dried kelp block, use that to smelt the kelp, which does mean that we would need to, like, manually come in here and put more dried kelp in from time to time, but we could probably just get a system going that, you know, makes it self-sufficient for a good while. So, first and foremost, we want to make something called a smoker, which is something that was not in Minecraft the last time that I played this game. We're gonna need a couple furnaces here. So, I just googled it not that long ago. How you make a smoker is like this. So, it's essentially a furnace that smelts food items faster, and kelp counts as food items. There's also blast furnaces that do the same, but for ores and whatnot. I have just regular furnaces in the house so that, you know, we can smelt pretty much anything. So, how am I going to set this up is the question of the day. I could always have this ladder go down deeper, is what I could do. How about... Whoa, wait a second. Yeah, I can do something more like that. Okay, so if I'm taking this ladder down into the depths there, I can go all the way down, or I can go, like, right here. It's not half bad, right? Maybe I will actually make a proper staircase into here sometime down the line. Like, maybe over here. I don't know. I'll think about it. So, this setup over here, maybe you know what? I'm actually going to take this deeper. So, if we have the smokers, say, here and here, like that, then we can put the hoppers, like, okay, I need to actually attach it right to the smokers then, like this. Then we should have the smokers, yeah, they're starting to fill up with kelp like that. Okay, nice. So, I'm going to go ahead and just get these started, I think, with coal, just so that we get, like, dried kelp in the first place. But once we get, you know, some dried kelp online here, then we can use the dried kelp to smelt more kelp. Now, I am going to need to go ahead and put hoppers on the back to be fuel, so that I am not even streaming right now. I should have turned off my alert box. I'm doing a recording for YouTube. Appreciate the follow there, Dr. Sigma. I'm not even live right now. That freaking jump scared me a little bit. Any fuel that we put in here, if I grab, like, a smidge of coal here, for example, like these 3 things of coal, if I put them into this chest, then it's going to empty them out and it's going to put them in for the fuel there. So I can start doing that with dried kelp is what I'm going to be able to do. Now, we need chests that these actually lead to, and then maybe that should just be in the ground here, which means I need more chests. And I need iron for that, which I do not have at the moment, unless I left some in this chest or something like that. What? When did I do that with the kelp? I don't recall when I did that. Oh, here's my shield. Oh, and here's my better sword. I was wondering where the heck I put that thing. I can just... Bam. Wow. I mean, maybe I could just put a bunch of trees down right here for now, and then I can chop them down. Maybe I'll actually do that. I'll grab some saplings while I'm in here, and this will be the temporary lot of a tree farm, I guess, or something. Yeah, just because I'm gonna need some more wood here. And then if I attach the hopper like that, then it's going to start filling up with dried kelp. Nice. Very, very nice. Okay, so I'll probably leave this going for a little while, is what I shall do. Which one has more kelp? I'm just going to do something like this. A half of each. There we go. Bam. All right, yeah. So I'm going to have to leave that going for a little while. So this is going to be like a cooking show where... we'll be back with you in a little bit. I'm also now realizing I actually can't have this ladder going all the way down like this, so I might actually need to just, yeah, do something like that. Whoa, did I get a ladder stuck up here? Oh my goodness, I did. Yoink. Okay, I got it, I believe. Okay, something like that. This is the This is the look of the machine, and you know what? I actually want this to go into the wall a little bit to give me a little bit more space down here, is what I actually want. Alright, so I've come to realize that there's a bit of a problem with the design here. One, these don't always go over into the chute. Very rarely sometimes, but sometimes it does happen. I don't know why that's occurring. I think I still prefer the 7-wide setup to like the 6-wide. Maybe that's why I saw others doing like 6-wide ones, because of stuff like that. It seems to very, very rarely happen though, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But the harvest sizes in general are a little bit of a concern. Was that one of the upper ones? I don't even see kelp falling down. What is happening? I am very confused as to what is happening here. It's not always working. It's usually working. Not always. But anyway, my big concern right here is the harvest sizes. Like, let's assume that it is a maximum harvest, which means that every single one of these is at 2 height, and then one reaches 3. That means that, you know, you're taking 1 off of all 7 and then 2 off of 1. That's a maximum harvest of 8. It takes 9 to make a block of dried kelp, is the thing. Meaning, if I put a bunch of blocks of dried kelp into here to serve as the fuel source instead of coal, that it's gonna consume more dried kelp than it makes. Which means that the only way that getting this to work efficiently, like, okay, that was a, whoa, that was a harvest of 10 there. Wait, what? Yeah, push other ones down? I'm losing my mind as to how this works. Maybe that one went off and it picked up other ones along the way. I don't know. But under normal circumstances, considering a block of dried kelp can smelt 20 items, but it costs smelting 9 items to make a block of dried kelp, a profit of 11, assuming that you're actually smelting 20 items. If you're not smelting 20 items, then you're operating at a deficit here, essentially. This has made quite a decent bit of dried kelp thus far. So I might just leave coal in it for now. But that leads me to believe that if I truly want the dried kelp to make more dried kelp, that the best system to do would just be to let this build up kelp over a long time, and then, you know, then come and put blocks of dried kelp in here. Because then if there's like a buildup of a great many stacks, then it'll be worth it for a little while, you know? Then you'll get proper bang for your buck. But as is, if I just put blocks of dried kelp in here while this is harvesting here and there, it's not going to be worth it. I'm going to be operating at a loss, you know? But we can go ahead and make some dried kelp blocks for now. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, I could almost make a stack of dried kelp blocks. But for now, how about we go ahead and make half a stack of dried kelp blocks. Like this. Bam. Dried kelp block. You love to see it. Let's go ahead and put these back in here and whatnot. Let's go ahead and do that. Have a little bit of dried kelp in each of these. Yeah, so every single one of these can smelt 20 items. That was pretty nice. I have a single thing of kelp in my, do I want to keep some just normal kelp on the side? Might not be a bad idea. Once that coal runs out, well, here's 1 kelp. Once that coal runs out, it should start building up just quite a decent bit of kelp is what it should do. So maybe I will let it just get through, you know, this much coal is what I might just do. Just let it consume that, make some more dried kelp out of that. But from there, just let it go ahead and build up so that, you know, we can actually get quite a decent bit of kelp. Then maybe I'll put the dried kelp blocks into here. And then it'll be great. So maybe I should just put the dried kelp blocks on the side for now. So, wait, I wonder. I'm just curious. Oh, you can. Cool. I was curious if that was the case. Apparently, you can eat dried kelp as a potential food source. So I guess that's one way that you can transport a large amount of food if you ever need to go traveling and whatnot. So I am wondering if we should do the bamboo farm setup after all to have it lead into there. But, you know, what's a harvest of bamboo gonna be like? I mean, I could set it up in such a way with observers so that it only harvests when there's like a big harvest to make. Like, this is a setup where the observers are just 1 block above the pistons, you know? Like, harvests of this aren't going to be all that big. We could have always modified this setup so that harvest would only be big. This is like a bunch of little harvests very frequently. but we could have always changed this around to have like the pistons be like really low and the observers like really high, so that, you know, the kelp has to get really, really, really tall before it gets harvested. And if I did that, then this setup of having the dried kelp burn, you know, make more dried kelp could well be the way to go. I mean, I could always even just edit the current setup to take off the bottom row here and just have it all lead up to these observers here, just like augment the design a little bit, so that the kelp from all the way down there needs to grow all the way up here, and then it gets harvested, you know? And then that would be like a big harvest every time that, you know, a dried kelp block would actually be worthwhile to smelt, possibly, you know? Like, even the coal isn't being like super efficient here. So if I do want to keep it in like the current setup with a bunch of small harvests, that leads me to believe that maybe I should do like this bamboo farm setup after all? Maybe? Okay, I still have most of my quartz. Okay, we still have, we can still make quite a lot of observers from that if we really want to. So, I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm gonna have to think about what we do from here. It's sort of, well, it is an infinite fuel setup already, technically speaking. I just need to be a little bit patient with it is all. Actually, let's eat the first piece of dried kelp, because apparently this is a thing that you can munch on. Ow. Like, let's see here. Munch, 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 munch. Okay, yeah, they don't restore a whole lot there, but hey, dried kelp, munch, munch, munch. But yeah, so this is technically now, and yeah, they're not the best there, are they? It's technically an infinite furnace fuel setup. Like, we achieved it. We are technically at a place where we now have infinite furnace fuel, but it could be a lot better, you know? For now, I'll just let it go through these bits of coal here. It'll build up quite a bit of dried kelp. I'll let this build up over a long time, so I guess we'll keep on using coal for now for a little bit. But once the day comes that this thing has run for long enough, that it builds up an insane amount of kelp, and then it becomes worthwhile to put dried kelp into here, then we're gonna have a bunch of furnace fuel like that. So it's infinite, but you need a lot of patience is what the current situation is. Got 5 from that harvest apparently. So yeah, it's good progress. So maybe there'll be a part 3 to this. Maybe we'll have like a bamboo farm out back, and that'll be part 3. If there is a part 3, like, you'll know if the next episode is part 3 because you'll see it on the end screen. I don't know yet because I'm the one here who's undecided what the next project is gonna be. I don't know if there would be a part 3, and if part 3 would be like the immediate next episode to put a bamboo farm here, or if I want to work on something else first. It is possible that we might just work on other projects, like I know I need to get like sugarcane and whatnot online so we can get enchanting online. That would be very, very nice. So maybe we'll do like a part 3 way later down the line? Maybe? I don't know. Let's actually go ahead and look at the wall here. Is what we can do. And see what we can change around here. Let's just see. So, I might be able to take off this furnace fuel sign, because like we technically have it, but it's not the best, is it? How about I just change this to make furnace fuel more efficient? Gosh dang it, I should start that on the top line then. That's what I should do. Make furnace fuel more efficient, because we have it, but it could be better, and there could be a few different ways that we do that. I'll have to tinker around with some ideas, but we did it. Infinite furnace fuel. I'm repeating myself a whole bunch. I should probably just close out here properly. So once again, thanks all who tuned into an episode. Wait, that's not right. I could have sworn when I built this thing that I put a you know, a log here. And there's a stair missing? I have a log here. I don't have a stair. I can make a stair right now. That's what I can do. Like this. Huh. That's strange. Strange. Well, the bridge is fixed. Well, that aside. That aside there. Thanks all who tuned into another episode of Peculiar Potions here. And I'll have to decide on something for the next project. I don't know what it is yet. You'll know in a hot second because it'll say next time on the closing screen. I don't know yet. So, until then, whatever that project is, take care and see ya.